Hey there gamers, DreamcastGuy here, and today we're talking about the PlayStation 5 because Sony has just announced a price drop. But there's some good news and there's some bad news. It's temporary and it's not as big as I would probably like, but let's discuss and let's take a look at the digits. Hi, hope you're having a great day, and if you could please give this video a like and subscribe if you haven't already. So today is technically the 4th anniversary of the release of the PlayStation 5. So I feel like this is kind of basically connected to that. So when the PlayStation 5 initially came out, it felt like it had so much hype around it. You know, it had crazy next-gen graphics. We got this fancy controller with haptic triggers and stuff like that. And of course, the solid state, it made it where games didn't have load times. It was a very interesting time, but since the PlayStation 5 initially came out, I know a lot of people have been saying this system is pretty dang expensive. I wish that we would get a price cut. I mean, think about it. 4 years into the console cycle, by this point, I think we'd had 3 price cuts for the PlayStation 3. I think we had 2 price cuts by the PlayStation 4, 4 years into it. But with this one, not only does it say the same price, they have increased the price of the PS5 in multiple markets. So they just announced they are lowering the price of the all digital edition, which is typically $450. They're reducing the price down to $380. So it is getting a $70 price drop. Now that to me, I'm taking this as a W up front. I did notice a lot of people are saying, okay, this is pretty awesome, but this should be the new price. I 100%, I have been talking a lot about how we need a permanent price drop. I've been saying in videos now for pretty much the last year, ever since I got my PlayStation 5 Slim, I did an unboxing video, and a solid third of that video was kind of just saying, how is this system still as expensive as it is? So this price drop, it's cool, but from what we know so far, it is only the all digital edition. It's not the PlayStation 5 Pro. Obviously, that's not getting a price cut. That just came out. It's not the disc edition of the Slim. It is purely the all digital discless drive version of the PlayStation 5. So that does kind of suck. Now, leakers had been hinting at this for a bit. I know Dissective Seeds has been talking about this for a bit. So the fact that it's actually here, that's cool. A $70 price cut until Christmas. I still feel like I am excited about this because it does mean that people that are buying holiday shoppings and stuff like that, now you're probably going to be incentivized to buy an extra game or an extra controller. Or, I mean, realistically, you're probably going to buy a disc drive for it. But this price cut, when I first heard about it, I'm pleasantly shocked, but I wanted to take a look at it. So they announced this in a new PlayStation 5 trailer called Play Has No Limits. And I'm shocked to see this, but the video is being downvote bombed pretty hard. I feel like most PlayStation videos on the PlayStation channel, they get a ton of likes, right? You know, people love the PlayStation. There's a lot of very happy people out there playing a lot of PlayStation games. Pretty much the entire comment section, though, is people pissed. Vertical stand sold separately. Yep, that's still weird. Disk drive sold separately. Play has no limits, but your wallet does. Buttons sold separately for the players. Play has no limits. Yeah. The price also has no limits. Literally, every single comment is complaining about the price. And I think part of the reason this is interesting is because I just haven't seen this amount of cash blowback against Sony since they revealed the PlayStation 3 back in the day. What was that? That system was like $600 back in the day, which if you judge for inflation, if you adjust it, it'd be like $800 today. The fact that they won't drop the price more, I think part of the reason I'm confused about this is 2 separate things. One, the fact that it's temporary is very, very bizarre to me. I just feel like make it permanent because, especially if it causes a good spike, maybe this is like some effort to get sales up. I saw some tweets today where people were saying that PlayStation 5 and Nintendo Switch are in a weird spot right now, and so is the Xbox. Nobody's buying the Xbox, so we're not even going to include them in this equation. But there is not a must-have PS5 game, and there's not a must-have Nintendo Switch game this year. There has been for the last couple of years. There was God of War Ragnarok. Then, of course, we had Spider-Man 2. Those things not just sell copies of the game, but they sell systems. This is a very well-known, very classic business strategy. As you get your biggest game ready in late October or early November, so people buy your system at Christmas to wrap up and give to the kiddos, right? So the fact that they're doing a temporary price cut, I think this is trying to make sure they can maintain the highest sales possible for the PlayStation 5 during this current content drought where we don't have a big, crazy game. I mean, other than Astrobot. But Astrobot, as good as it is, I don't know if that's the mainstream hype of something like Horizon Forbidden West or something like that. But the other part of this is something I feel like it's weird to me that Sony is keeping the system so expensive. We know it is a very well-known fact that a big chunk of PlayStation's profitability is the fact that they take a 30% cut on anything sold through the PlayStation Store, whether it's Fortnite V-Bucks or Call of Duty microtransactions or just buying a full-priced copy of Monster Hunter Wilds or something like that, right? That's what makes them billions and billions of dollars. So my frame of mind has always been make the system as cheap as you possibly can, because even if you lose a little bit up front, that licensing cost, that cut, that's the real profitability. The fact that the systems stay so expensive, I wonder what the back end is. I wonder how much they're paying to make these systems. Is it really costing them like $400 to make this $450 system? Because I do feel like it would be a boon to their business. It would make them a lot more money up front if they could find a way to slash this cost. I mean, I'm going to throw out something really, really dramatic, right? I think, personally, if they could find a way to get the PlayStation 5 Slim Digital Edition down to like $300 or $350, I think it would just decimate the console wars, especially because there are some rumors that perhaps the next Nintendo Switch might cost $400 or $500 or something at launch. I think that if they can get the PlayStation 5 as cheap as possible while having the most exclusives, the biggest games, the coolest graphics, in my opinion, an extremely good controller, a really big online community, I feel like they would completely wreck the rest of this console generation. But I just feel like this price cut, I am happier the most. It is still dumb. They don't give us the digital freaking vertical stand. It's weird they don't give you a disk drive. But if we're just judging this at face value, I'm happy for a $70 price cut. I just wish it was permanent and even bigger of a discount. But what do you guys think about the PlayStation 5 Slim finally getting a discount? Do you think this should apply to the disk drive edition? And are you happy about it? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. And if you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a like, subscribe if you haven't already, and please keep dreaming. I actually have a separate video coming out here in a bit about the GTA Definitive Edition trilogy. I actually filmed that video already, but they fixed the GTA Definitive Edition trilogy, and I played it on PS5. So I'm going to show you some gameplay and stuff, but that's the next video. Thanks so much for watching that video. If you want to see something else, you can always click this link to see what I put up last, or, subscribe and see what's coming up next. Also, I promise that whatever I do, it'll try not to suck.